Thank you for joining me for episode 18 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day, and if you're new, welcome. And I just want to thank everyone for the support. We just went over 500,000 views in about 2 months. Incredible. And let's keep it going. Let's get right into this. I'm really excited to show you all what we found this week. The Natural History Museum in Los Angeles, California. This place supposedly opened in 1913 and has fitted marble walls with an incredible dome. The architecture is incredible. This is the largest natural and historical museum in the western United States. The rotunda measures 75 feet in diameter and made with Italian marble. The floor is made with mosaic tile. They say that there was a museum association that was established in 1910 that was the driving factor behind building this building. If this is true, then it took less than 3 years in 1910 to 1913 to get this project started and completed. All materials, blueprints, tools, employees, the land permits, get it all together and complete it in just 3 years, back in 1913. Now the key part that I want to make very clear, and it repeats in so many of these stories, is that they tell us who the architecture supposedly is. And who drew the blueprints on a piece of paper. Whether they're real or not, but they skip right over the big part that someone had to actually physically build these buildings. Who are these people? Which company was this? No mention of this anywhere is a clear giveaway that the builder was not them. If these people actually built this, they would mention and give credit to the actual builder. They'd be yelling it from the rooftop. If it's only 100 years old, surely they would know exactly who did it, but nothing. No builder in the narrative. Simply incredible, and a huge eye-opener, in my opinion. Italian marble on a 75-foot diameter rotunda that is 58 feet in the air with a 20-foot long skylight, because you have to add the skylight, of course. Notice how there's also an original building, which looks like it's from a different civilization that builds with perfection. Then they also go on to say that they've opened up additional wings to this building in 1925, 1930, 1960, and 1976. None of these additions look anything like the original. They're all different. There's no Italian marble, no skylights, just regular 2x4s and boring architecture that we have evolved into today. 1925 was supposedly only 12 years after the original building was built. So why would they build with such excellence in 1913? But 12 years later, we just give up and no longer care about the exact same building? We're asking these questions, but the answers are clear. We did not build the original Natural History Museum in Los Angeles, California. It's time for us to travel all the way to Italy. I want to cover a few things here, but first, we will focus on Rome. Here we have the Temple of Minerva Medica, supposedly built like 1,700 years ago. Who are we kidding here? If you have seen the last 17 episodes, you'll fully understand what I'm about to say, and just another incredible proof in my mind that our timeline begins in the 1800s. Here it is. The decagonal structure is relatively preserved. Though the full dome collapsed in 1828, unbelievable. So this thing was perfect for 1,400 years. But here come the wild 1800s, and the dome collapses randomly. Of course it was random. Sure. Then it goes on to say, and it clearly states, that there is no mention of this structure in any ancient literature. So was this actually built 1,700 years ago? No, it wasn't. This was built by the old world, probably about 400 to 500 years ago, and possibly sooner than that. And I'll give that assumption some validation by going to California. California? Why would we go to California to prove that something in Rome was possibly built in the 1800s? The Palace of Fine Arts, located in San Francisco, California, constructed in 1915 and designed by the one and only Bernard Maybeck. A 162-foot high, 49-meter, open rotunda is enclosed by a lagoon on one side and adjoins a large curved exhibition center on the other side. Maybeck designed what was essentially a fictional ruin from another time. He took his inspiration from Roman and ancient Greek architecture, specifically the Temple of Minerva Medica in Rome. So exactly what we were just talking about. Is this story fact or fiction? Who built this then? No mention of that, of course. Who built this then? Which company? No mention of that, of course, but let's get to the point. These structures are basically exact, in totally different continents. One being destroyed in 1828, the other supposedly being built 87 years after this event. Were these actually built at the same time all around the world? What are the point of these things anyway? What are you doing building 162-foot open rotunda structures surrounded by lagoons in San Francisco in 1915? All for show? First of all, the architecture was clearly incredible. It's undeniable. And draw it up all you want, but then getting people to build it is another thing. And of course, no mention of any company that was in the business of turning these blueprints into a reality. Here we go, a little further, and fully understand what this place was constructed, and according to this narrative, that is so insightful and trustworthy. I can't even imagine what we would do without this kind of storytelling. What is this place? Please tell us. We just need to know. Oh wait, here we have it. This structure was created to be a quiet zone. A quiet zone? I'm going to see how many quiet places we build today that have a resemblance of ancient Roman structures. Okay, I'm looking, okay, and oh, it's zero, none. A quiet place. These are not built to be quiet places, and that is obvious to this community. These had a different purpose, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to harness energy for the old world and distribute it to the entire town. That is my opinion, and it's 100% more believable than thinking this was a quiet place. You could go there and yell a little and make some noise, and it will no longer be a quiet place. This narrative is so ridiculous and so much fun to laugh at. I'm going to stay in California for this next building because we are on a roll here. The Calvary Presbyterian Church in San Francisco, California. In 1904, this building just appeared out of thin air. Just get the funds and boom, it's there. Who are we kidding here? Look at this place, please. I do say this often, but it needs to be repeated to make sure we're all understanding what is being said here. If someone was building this building today, we would all be amazed. It would be known to the whole world that this was being constructed. Please take a few seconds to just look at this picture. They are riding around on horses. They did not build this place. They are probably looking at this building and wondering where the heck it came from, just like we are. Or maybe they knew where it came from and knew that it was a past civilization that built it. No roads, but we're just constructing massive churches on the West Coast. How many bricks did it take to build this building? Oh, only 1 million? Okay, simple. Which company transported these 1 million bricks? Oh, yeah, no mention of that. Yeah, of course. Dang, I would have asked them to help me with that. I have 1 million bricks to move, but I didn't know who to ask in the year 1900. I'm sure they accidentally forgot to put that in the story. I wish they would have told me. Imagine having 1 million bricks to move in 1900. Which company were they asking? Here's the architect that they give us. A guy named John, a disgusting fictional character. The narrator is turning into a disgusting individual the more and more we dig. You can read what they have written about this fake architect. I can't even repeat it. I have highlighted it here. It's weird that they marked this man as an architect for this building. But once you go to his page, there's no mention of him ever drawing up any plans for this building. They didn't even mention that he was the architect of the biggest church on the West Coast. Pretty sure that would be on the top of my bio page. Whoops, accidentally forgot to add that key moment. This fake, disgusting character had no involvement with this building, and this is an admission in my opinion. Let's keep this episode in California to push the point that people were building structures and occupying California with technology that surpasses what we have today, way before we're told in the narrative. The Holbert Building. They say this building was built in the year of 1914. Simple. Because they had Willis Polk to design this 21-floor masterpiece that was handcrafted brass and Italian marble. If you try to find who actually built this building, it just tells you that Mr. Polk designed it. Let's pretend he did. That doesn't mean that he owns a construction company. And if he did, why isn't this mentioned anywhere? Did he build it himself, 21 stories in the air? Who actually built these buildings? Since nobody is telling us, we are 100% allowed to ask these questions. Does Willis Polk have his own tools? How long did this building take to build? Did Polk have any employees? If so, how many? 1, 2, 40? Did he have a way of getting resources to the site in 1914 in California? No, 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 and no. I'd like to send out a friendly challenge to any historian that can prove which company or group of people built this building? I'd genuinely like to know. It'll never happen, but good luck. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode and enjoyed exposing the narrative flaws. I'm very excited for episode 19. We have so much more to come. You guys are all unbelievable, and I couldn't be more thankful for every one of you. We also have a Twitter account up and running. We're on Rumble if you want to check that out too. I'll put that in the link in the description below. I really hope you all have a great rest of your day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back very soon with much more. See ya.
Don't trust